everybody. So today I am on the road. I'm headed to Sarasota, and somebody who doesn't like to be on video, I won't tell you who it is. He might be related to me, I'm not sure. We are on our way to get his driver's license. So today is his test. But today I want to talk to you about the keto diet. And there's been lots of research on the keto diet for the types of people that it helps. And it was originally started in the 1920s. And it helped with handicapped children, people that had mental disabilities. It helped kind of even them out. It helped them with their ADD, ADHD, seizures, things like that. And it kind of got popular again around the late 80s, early 90s with some bodybuilders, because they figured out that instead of carving up and gaining all that fat and having to work to burn it back off for their show, it was just easier to stay on a keto diet because there was no bulk up. When you have high amounts of fat in your diet, you're going to burn, as long as it's healthy fat, you're going to burn that fat right back off. So I've been kind of watching the research the last few years and really, wondering how can I apply it to a challenge. And I myself had kind of hit a plateau, and it wasn't because I was eating unhealthy, it was because of hormonal issues. And one of the things that happens to a lot of us is we eat so many carbs, we become insulin resistant. So our body can't resist the insulin anymore, the peaks and the valleys of insulin. And what happens is, instead of that weight that gets converted to fat being burned off when we exercise, it starts accumulating, and it accumulates around our hips, our thighs, our belly. For men, sometimes they get it in their boobs, and which is called gynecomastia, and we just can't resist it because we live in a carb infiltrated world. Everything in our food has sugar, it has carbohydrates. Now, the Atkins diet. The Atkins diet is very similar. However, with the Atkins diet, you're eating fat that really isn't good for you. You can eat trans fats, you can eat a lot of salami, a lot of bacon. And the problem with some bacons is it's flavored and it's processed with sugar. And again, sugar gets converted and stored as fat. So when you're looking at your food labels, what you're really looking at is your sugar content. And if you notice, what they started doing is they started adding more sugar. So it will have how many grams of actual sugar in it, and then how much more they've added to it. And that's just something new. We found that out in our last shopping trip, and it totally makes me mad. You have a ways to go. We're going to Sarasota, and we're only at, what was that, River Road. And then you also got to watch your carbs. When you do a keto diet, you're going to have about 70 to 75 to 80% fat, and you're going to have about, depending on if you're going to go 70, you're going to have about 20%, 15% carbs, and you're going to have about the rest of it as carbohydrate. No, that was wrong. Proteins, and then your carbs are going to be the lowest. You want to still have your protein because we're still working out, and you need the protein to build muscle, and you need the fats and the proteins together. I just want you to know that if you're eating quality, healthy fat, you're not going to gain fat weight. Your body naturally says, oh my gosh, I got all this extra energy and all this fat to burn. It gets your metabolism on crank, and you just blow through that fat weight. I started this about a week and a half ago, and I weighed myself this morning, and Michelle was with me, and I come down 4 fat pounds already, and I can actually see the fat on my tummy is melting away, and which is good for me because I've always ate healthy. I've always been on a good meal plan, and when my workout regimen, I was beating myself up. I was doing 2 a days. I was burning about 40 or 4,000 calories. There was one day I burned 4,500 calories. So for me, because of hormones wouldn't let me break down my fat, calories in and calories out weren't working for me. And I can guarantee there are some of you that are insulin resistant, and when you eat carbs, it just accumulates as fat. So keto diet is one way to kind of break through that barrier and keep you going and hitting your goals. So if you feel like you've hit a plateau or that's happened, this might be something for you. And I thought when I first started keto, it would be tough as far as the food, because I'm pretty picky as far as, you know, what kind of food is going in my mouth. Things that you're going to need are things like coconut oil, peanut butter, almond butter. You're going to do olive oil, avocado oil, and I don't like salami. Salami doesn't agree with my gallbladder. It screams at me if I eat salami. However, I can eat prosciutto. Prosciutto is no carbs. It has some protein. It's high in fat, and it's preserved in salt. And when you're doing this particular diet, you need to have more salt in your diet so you don't go into dehydration. It takes a lot of energy. It goes through like a thermogenics type of thing where you're losing water, and you definitely want to hydrate as much as possible, and you need to have more salt in your diet than if you were just doing a regular meal plan. So there's my salt. So in the morning, what I have is a keto coffee. And what I do is I'll make a cup of coffee. I'll add like a teaspoon of butter, a tablespoon of coconut oil. I'll add probably 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. And for those of you that like sweet coffee, you're going to do stevia. Don't do the other sugars because it will take you out of ketosis. Stevia is a natural sugar. Our body recognizes it, and it shouldn't throw you out of ketosis. So that is.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
Then I'll have, and a lot of you see me, I'll have my 3 eggs right before I work out. I still got my protein, I got my fat. That keeps me into ketosis and protein synthesis. And then I'll go home and make myself breakfast. And it's usually eggs. I'll throw some burger in there for my protein. And you're going to go with the not as lean burger because you want the higher amounts of fat. So I got the fat in my eggs and my protein. I got the fat in my burger with the protein. And I'll throw some plain Greek yogurt on there for more protein and more fat. You got to watch your carbs. If it's a flavored yogurt, you're going to change your diet a little bit. You're going to go with the plain yogurt to avoid those carbohydrates. And then I'll throw some salsa and some cheese on there. Now you can have cheese. Stay away from the soft cheese. You're going to do hard cheese because we know soft cheese has a lot of trans fats in it that aren't good for us. So we're going to stick with the monounsaturated, polyunsaturated fats, and saturated fats. So those are things you got to watch too. Then after I have that, I'll have another snack, and I'll do prosciutto, and I'll put either cream cheese in it, which is high in fat, and not flavored cream cheese, just regular plain cream cheese. I'll have a couple slices of that as a snack. Then I'll have my lunch, and what I'll do is I'll do like a romaine salad, and I'll throw some chicken in there. You can throw seafood in there. You can throw tuna in there, and I put in there some nuts. And you got to be careful with your fruit, but I do like some fruit in with my salad, so I'll do raspberries. You just got to watch the sugar content. If you do strawberries, just do a couple, and you don't want your sugar levels to get too high. And then I'll do, I think I said nuts, and I'll do an olive oil or base dressing, or I'll do blue cheese, and my favorite is blue cheese. So I mix that together, and then that's my lunch. I have, and then I'll have another snack. Now they have something that's called a fat bomb, and let me tell you, those are amazing. So if you have a sweet tooth, fat bomb will curb that craving for carbs. In the first couple days it's going to be rough because you're so used to eating carbs, but once you get a few days in, you're not going to miss it, and you're going to notice you're not as hungry throughout the day because fat has a satiating fat effect, which means it keeps you fuller longer. And there's a lot more energy associated with the amount of calorie breakdown there is. So once you consume it, which is 9 calories, and it gets into your body, it's 7 calorie breakdown. And there's so much more energy. And I notice my energy levels are up. I'm able to think better. I don't get that afternoon crash that I do like I do with carbs. It's pretty cool. And I just noticed that the fat is melting away on my body, and that's so refreshing after just busting my butt for these weeks, you know, doing 2-a-days, and then I've been redoing the gym and just working for hours, and my calories I've burned. It's just nice to have that breakthrough and that barrier broken. It gives me a sense of, oh, finally, you know, because it's something I should have done a long time ago, but this kind of really pushed me over the edge. You know, that when you are dealing with the insulin resistance and you're dealing with hormones, it's a little harder to work through those things, and it doesn't affect you mentally, because it does. It affects you mentally. This is my business card right here, so it's very important for me to keep my body at tip-top shape. So this diet is definitely, so far, just in that week and a half, has helped me out. So anyhow, I have a fat bomb, and a fat bomb is, I'll post recipes. I made fat bombs. Michelle tried them earlier. I did almond butter, stevia, a little bit of coconut flour, butter, and coconut oil. Then I melted it in a pot. Then I put it in little muffin pans, little tiny ones. And that is my snack in between, and then I'll have a dinner. So an example of a dinner would be some yellow squash that I baked, and I throw some hamburger on top, and again 80-20 as far as fat. I'll throw some cheese, some salsa, some plain Greek yogurt on top, and that's a perfect keto meal. Now what I've noticed is my calories are a lot higher, and so far I've had my keto coffee, I've had my snack, and I haven't had my lunch yet, and I'm already at 1,100 calories. But don't let that scare you, because it's the quality, not the quantity of calories in your keto diet. And if you want this keto diet to work, you really have to watch your carbs. Now what I do is I've been plugging them into my Fitbit that I use, and they have a scanner on there. I don't know whether you've been on there, and you can plug in your food, but the scanner will actually, if you place it over and it takes a picture of the barcode on the food that you're eating, it will remember it. It takes a picture of it. It'll, you know, come up with your macros and your micros, and will show you.
Watch out,
exactly
vehicle stopped
eating,
on shoulder ahead.
and if you're reaching your numbers. And I'm right on point. I have 80% fats right now. I have about 12% proteins, and then the rest is carbs, so about 8%. So I'm right where
in 6.3 miles.
Have the rest
exit to exit 210, State Route 780, Fruitville Road, Sarasota, St. Armand's.
I notice that each day I'm not as hungry, so my breakfast has been bumped back a little later in the day. Now you don't have to worry about going into starvation mode, because you have a lot of extra calories. Listen to your body. If it says you're hungry, then eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. You are consuming a lot more of nutrition dense and higher calorie food. And please don't freak out when you're eating higher fat. It's not going to put fat weight on you. Those carbohydrates is what's getting you. So just consider, you know, I'm not trying to force a keto diet on you. There are a lot of studies out there that show that.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
It could really help you, but if you're struggling and you feel like you're insulin resistant, this is something that probably will be good for you. So I've given you a full day. One of the things that I experienced about 4 days into my keto was I experienced the keto flu. Is that it? Hold on. All right, we got cut off here. We were trying to figure out where we're going, and my video cut off. But anyhow, I experienced the keto flu, so I had a really bad migraine. I was achy, and it was just my body fighting. fighting, so used to carbohydrate. You know, I didn't eat high carbohydrates, but it was so used to having the carbohydrates as the main source of energy, it kind of fought me for a little bit. And that's normal. You're going to feel like absolute crap. But once you get through that, then you don't have to deal with it anymore, unless you're going to go cichlid. You're still going straight. You got 5 miles. You're going to go cichlid, and you, on the weekends, you decide you're going to carb up. That's a harder diet, because of what it does is it takes you out of keto, and it actually takes most people 4 or 5 days to get back into keto, and then you're back into your carb cycle again. So that is something I'm not going to do. If you do carbs and you're a few weeks into your keto diet, say it's somebody's birthday, or you just feel like having an ice cream with your family, go ahead and do that. That's a way of testing yourself to see when you go back into keto, and you're going to feel it, because you're going to feel great again. You're going to feel all kinds of energy, and I just think a lot of you would benefit from it. So I'm about a week and a half into it, and every day I'm going to post a video on how I'm feeling. Keep going straight. You still have 4 miles. You got 4 miles. You're going to be good. I know. You got Sarasota exits all the way. Anyhow, I will post those videos for you, and then if you have any questions along the way, please post those, because if I don't know the answer, I'm going to research it. And I know that Dr. Susan is doing this keto diet too, and she absolutely loves it. She feels better. Billy's doing it. And you just need to remember that you're still eating clean. You're just changing the percentages of the food intake. All right, here he goes with his test. Let's see if he passes this thing. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember taking my driver's test. It's so different than when I was grown up. He's so cute. Now he's backing up. I think I'm more nervous than he is.
Turn right on Fruitville Road.
Driving where he had his driving test, Sarasota, and he just blew through a stop sign. He just passed his test. He's blown through stop signs. But anyhow, yay, he passed. I can't
In 3
believe
miles,
it.
turn right on
Finally.
Paramount Drive.
Anything to say? Nothing. He says nothing. Congratulations, buddy. Okay guys, I normally don't eat at these places, but my kid is hungry. He just passed his driving test and I'm hungry. By the time I get back into town, it's gonna be time to have class. I'm not gonna have time to make myself anything. So we stopped at Chipotle. Is it Chipotle or Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Chipotle, he says. What's it called?
Chipotle.
Chipotle. So what I did is I got a bowl. As you can see here, I got romaine lettuce. I've got just a little bit of pico de gallo. I've got avocados or guacamole. And I got the steak cheese, and there's sour cream in here too. I don't know if you can see this. But no rice. You don't need the carbs or the sugar, and there's both in rice. So this is an example if you were to eat out at a Mexican restaurant or, you know, what is it called? Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Chipotle. If you eat here, this is an example of what you can eat. Bon appetit. Okay, so now I'm at home. My son already took off in his car to his friend's house. They're supposedly doing homework, but I am getting ready for class, and I have logged my food calories since Chipotle, and I added those, and then I also added 2 fat bombs. And right now, if I switch this around, it's not letting me switch it around. Don't know why, but maybe we can do this. I don't know if you guys can see this. Maybe. So what I have here is I have my food calories, and as you can see, my daily caloric goal, if I was on just a high protein, low carb diet, I would be at 1,500 calories. Right now, I'm at 1,681. My carbohydrates are at 10%, my proteins are 11%, and my fat is at 79%. And I apologize, I don't know why my camera's not turning around. It's definitely having some issues, but I'm right on point. Before the night is over, I will have some more protein, and that'll bring my protein up to more like 15-18%. And yeah, so you saw what it is that I eat in a day for this. I feel good. I'm really tired though. I'm exhausted. Just trying to get all this stuff done for the gym. But I hope this helps, and I will log my calories kind of every day so you have an idea of how actually easy this diet is. So again, if you're interested in this, let's get going. That'll be our next challenge. Okay guys, peace out.